Posters, whatever. I don't know. These are all sealed. I know that these Alex Ross posters are, I guess, worth a bit of money, but, don't have room to put them up and won't put them up in my house. When I had first met my wife, and we got an apartment together, I had all of the Alex Ross individual posters up in my bedroom, framing like a Hall of Justice, and that was one of the first discussions that we had, was the removal of said posters. There's a couple of the sand crawlers, but I never thought that these would be worth money. If you look online on eBay right now, these are selling like hotcakes, probably because they were previews exclusives. And if you get bored playing with the sand crawlers, go watch Star Wars on Laserdisc. Why would I have this? Well, it's after the G.I. Joe book's done, I'm going to start working on a more generic 80s toy book. In aid of that, I've been compiling together Battle Beasts. So, ossified orangutan number 76. I've already gone through and labeled pieces and weapons. Just so when I cover Battle Beasts in the book, I'll have some solid stuff. These are the Visionaries action figures, and they're actually pretty cool. We might as well take Witter Quick out because I think he's the most iconic of the lead figures. I want to catch the light just right. Do we got that or no? Yeah. This is when I guess bedazzle and holograms were really hot. Fascinated by hologram stickers. So it changes from a pony to a guy with wings. What red-blooded American boy doesn't like ponies? But they're, the line only lasted for 2 years. It's an odd line because even if you look at this vehicle, this is the cannon, and these are the turrets, and these are the cannons. Well, where are the actual guns coming out of it? This vehicle, I'm almost positive this vehicle is complete. So what does it do? Bash things? Yeah. So I think we can see why the line didn't fare quite as well as G.I. Joe did. Oh. Anyone yet? Although it wasn't as popular as, say, G.I. Joe or the Transformers, I picked up all of these. I picked up this, number 1, and the more recognizable number 3 at a yard sale about 30 miles away from my house 2 years ago for $10 each. And they were both complete. One of them was still boxed. The number 3 was still boxed with the styrofoam. And as you can see, the chrome isn't that bad. So that's all the parts. I don't know if I remember how to put it together. Be easier with an image, right? Come on. I'm trying. I really am. Well, it's been a few years since I did that, and I have to have an extra plan thing. But that's Voltron 1. Voltron 3 is over there somewhere. I have the actual Matchbox product. Voltron is a very strange story, and as a lot of you folks know, Voltron was one of the only toys in the 80s that had the toy license owned by 2 different companies. By Matchbox and by Panache Place, which is why Matchbox focused on the die-cast and the more model-like Voltrons, where Panache Place made the plastic Voltron the action figures came with, that the figures could actually fit inside the Voltron. I have that here too, and I have the Voltron 1. in anticipation, of course, of putting him in the 80s guide, because you can't have an 80s guide without this bad Mamma Jam. There you go. One of my prized pieces. Rawr, Gojira. Rawr, rawr. Oddly enough, he was, and collectors know this, he was flicking tongue, rawr, a member of the Shogun Warriors line. And watch this firing fist. Here it comes. Here it comes. Can't really do that with this stuff anymore. But and rolling wheels, you know, because every giant dinosaur thingy needs rolling wheels. Oh, probably the nicest Batmobile ever made. Pretty authentic. Superpowers Batmobile. Action features include headlights coming up, ram bar, capture claw. Really, really, really cool vehicle. Oh. One of the boxes of Thundercats. Weapons and accessories. Battlematic's still almost functional, but not really on him. If you saw the Dungeons & Dragons figures that I showed you earlier, these were LJN's finest achievement in 1985-86, were the Thundercats. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a live-action movie quite soon. So, folks, bust out the Thundercats figures. This really is a strange Battlematic action. It just kind of moves your arms. Oh. I think these are... Got some, looks like some GoBots hanging out. Vamp. A couple iconic ones. GoBots fans, we all know who this is, although he's in crappy shape and needs sticker repair. Little Leader 1 action. Micronauts Repros. Star Trek. Star Trek. Star Trek. Star Trek. Star Trek. Again, kids, don't do drugs, please. We got some Happy Days figures, some Brady Bunch figures. This company, Classic TV Toys, primarily wrestling figures, and I covered a few articles on them. And if you'll notice, there's the Brady Bunch. Greg, Alice, Mrs. Brady, Marcia, Peter, Jan, Bobby, and Cindy. Who is conspicuously absent from that card front? That's right. Mr. Brady. So I asked them, when are we going to be getting a Mr. Brady figure? And they said to me, we don't think it's appropriate to be making a Mr. Brady figure. I said, okay. Basically Mego repros, but they developed the lines further. You got an Al Molinaro figure, you got Chachi Arcola, you got Mr. Cunningham and Mrs. Cunningham, and Joni and Peter. The problem with the figures was, I think that, in my opinion, they used a lower quality plastic than Mego did, and some of the molds, particularly on the Mad Monster series, weren't very good. Some of the paint apps were a little sloppy, and they were put together. Sometimes you'd see two left hands or two right hands. Megos were my first love, and actually when I was working at a drugstore, Rexall's Drugs in downtown Seneca Falls, I always worked about 2 or 3 different jobs so I could afford to get these toys. I always dreamed about getting a Mego Green Arrow figure. And I romanticized it in my mind, thinking, okay, he looks just like Neil Adams' Green Arrow. His arrows came with fletching. There was a real feather in his cap. Super detailed gloves. So I saved up my money and saved up my money. And in the back of Toy Shop magazine in 1992, I found a Mego Green Arrow in the box for $80. And that was a lot of money back then. And I bought him, and I got him home, and I went, well, that's not really what I thought he looked like. But it spurred me to get a Mego Lizard, and it spurred me to get a Mego Mr. Fantastic, and then I finished my Mego line. And after that, I went back and finished my G.I.JOE line. And after that, I went back and finished my Transformers line. So it was all because of Mego figures, what people consider the iconic superhero action figures.